Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders are preparing for a critical divisional matchup against the New York Giants this Sunday. And while much of the attention has been focused on the established stars, there is a rookie named quietly making waves in training sessions and practice film, Jalen Lane. The wide receiver, entering his first season with the Commanders, might not have the headline-grabbing draft status of a top pick, but what he lacks in notoriety, he makes up for with pure explosiveness and a growing football IQ. Head coach Dan Quinn has been vocal about Lane's development, not just as a receiver, but also as a potential punt returner, a role that requires both courage and precision. For a rookie, the pressure of stepping into that responsibility can be overwhelming. But the reports coming out of Washington suggest Lane is handling it with a calm focus that has impressed coaches and teammates alike, setting the stage for his NFL debut. What makes Lane's progress even more intriguing is the way he has absorbed coaching, especially from wide receivers coach Bobby Ingram. Quinn admitted that while he already knew Lane had speed and explosiveness, what has stood out most is how seamlessly he has transferred detailed drill work into live action. It's one thing to practice footwork, body positioning, and option routes in a controlled setting, but it's another to replicate those lessons under the pressure of tight coverage and live defenders. Quinn highlighted how Lane has shown real growth in understanding leverage, pacing himself through routes, and creating separation in man-to-man situations. For a rookie transitioning from a college tempo offense, where plays move fast and defensive looks are often simplified, this adjustment is critical. Lane's willingness to slow down when necessary, stress defenders with calculated movement, and then burst into open lanes has been described as a genuine developmental leap in a short period of time. There is also the special teams factor, which could ultimately be Lane's ticket to immediate playing time. Punt returning is not for the faint of heart. It demands impeccable vision, quick decision-making, and the fearlessness to field kicks with defenders bearing down at full speed. The Commanders have long searched for a consistent weapon in that role, and Lane appears poised to seize the opportunity. His explosive first step and ability to change direction in tight spaces make him a natural candidate, while his ball security and situational awareness continue to improve. Coaches often stress that being a punt returner is as much about mentality as it is about physical tools, and Lane's poise during practice reps has not gone unnoticed. If he can translate that composure into live games, Washington may have found a rookie who can flip field position and inject a spark into their special teams unit, something fans have been craving for several seasons. Of course, the storyline doesn't end with special teams. The Commanders made the decision to carry only 5 wide receivers on their roster, and that choice opens the door for Lane to carve out snaps on offense as well. While he may not immediately see a high target volume, his versatility in the slot and his ability to execute option routes against man coverage could make him a valuable situational weapon. Offensive coordinators often look for rookies who can contribute in packages designed to exploit mismatches, and Lane's speed and agility could give Washington a tactical edge. If defenses are forced to respect him as a vertical threat or quick separator underneath, it could create more space for established playmakers. For a rookie, earning trust from the quarterback and coaching staff is everything, and Lane's steady development suggests he's inching closer to securing a role beyond just returning kicks. When Dan Quinn talks about Lane, there's a mix of genuine admiration and measured expectation. He's not crowning the rookie as a star yet, but his comments reflect a belief that Lane's growth trajectory is pointing upward. Quinn emphasized that college offenses often mask some of the challenges receivers face at the professional level, particularly against sticky man coverage and disguised looks. The fact that Lane is already showing adaptability in those situations is significant. It's also worth noting that the Commanders value receivers who can block, compete physically, and play with toughness, qualities Lane has quietly displayed during camp. Every coaching staff looks for rookies who can absorb details quickly and apply them on the field, and Lane's rapid progression could be the reason his number gets called sooner than many expected. Washington's passing game has room for new contributors, and Lane is doing everything in his power to stake his claim. The upcoming matchup against the New York Giants adds another layer of intrigue. Division games in the NFL are notoriously intense, and even small contributions can shift momentum. Lane's NFL debut will be under the spotlight of a fan base eager to see what the team's young players can bring to the table. Whether he lines up deep to return punts or steps onto the field in a three-receiver set, every snap will be a chance to prove himself. For rookies, the transition from preseason hype to regular season execution can be jarring, but Lane's preparation and attention to detail suggest he will approach the opportunity with confidence. Facing the Giants' defense, known for disguising coverages and bringing pressure, will test Washington's entire offense, and Lane's speed could be a factor in stretching the field or providing an outlet when plays break down. His debut isn't just another storyline. It's a potential spark waiting to ignite. Fans often gravitate toward rookies because they represent hope and possibility, and Jalen Lane embodies that energy for Washington. While he may not be a household name yet, every season, the NFL produces surprise contributors who rise from relative obscurity to carve out meaningful roles. Lane has the tools, the work ethic, and now the opportunity to be one of those stories. What makes his case so compelling is the blend of natural ability and coachability he has displayed early on. Veterans often say that talent gets you in the door, but adaptability keeps you in the league. Lane's willingness to learn from Ingram, embrace Quinn's challenges, and refine his craft in a short period of time demonstrates maturity that goes beyond his rookie status. For a fan base eager for young players to emerge, watching Lane's journey could become one of the underrated highlights of the Commanders' season. The Commanders' offense itself is in a phase where new contributors are not only welcomed but needed. With only a handful of wideouts on the roster, depth will be tested throughout the season, and injuries or fatigue can quickly thrust rookies into larger roles. That means Lane must be ready not just to field punts, but to run crisp routes, gain separation, and make tough catches in traffic. NFL defenses are ruthless in exposing young players who hesitate, so the margin for error is slim. Yet Lane's steady progress in practice indicates he's not only gaining confidence, but also earning trust. Quarterbacks and coordinators need to believe a receiver will be where he's supposed to be, and that reliability is what often separates practice squad players from game day contributors. Lane's challenge is to translate flashes of brilliance into consistent production, something the Commanders are hopeful he can achieve as the season unfolds. For Quinn and his coaching staff, Lane represents a developmental success story in the making. Rookies often struggle to adjust to the complexities of NFL defenses, but Lane has already demonstrated that he can adapt and evolve. The key now will be sustaining that momentum under the bright lights of game day. Fans will watch closely on Sunday, not just for big plays, but for the small details: the secure catch on a punt, the precise break on a route, the situational awareness in critical downs. These are the moments where rookies build credibility, and Lane's ability to stack those moments could determine how much his role expands in the coming weeks. For Washington, finding reliable contributors from the bottom of the depth chart is essential to long-term success, and Lane's progress offers a glimpse of the kind of depth that winning teams cultivate over time. As kickoff approaches, the excitement surrounding Lane continues to grow. His NFL debut against the Giants will be more than just a personal milestone. It will be a test of preparation, resilience, and composure. Every rookie dreams of that first game, and for Lane, it comes with the added weight of special teams duties and potential offensive snaps. If he delivers, even in small doses, it will validate the confidence Quinn and Ingram have placed in him. For Washington fans, it's a chance to witness the beginning of a journey that could evolve into something much bigger. Whether he becomes a steady role player, a special teams weapon, or even develops into a future offensive standout, the foundation is being laid right now. On Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Commanders' faithful will finally get their first live look at Jalen Lane in burgundy and gold, ready to show the NFL what he's about. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The football world woke up buzzing with a rumor that has already taken over every corner of social media. Terry McLaurin, the reliable and beloved wide receiver of the Washington Commanders, has reportedly signed a massive contract extension that keeps him tied to the franchise until the year 2030. While the team has not yet issued an official press release, multiple insiders suggest that this deal is not only historic in length, but also in value. instantly catapulting McLaurin into the status of the highest-paid player in Commanders history. Fans are shocked, analysts are scrambling for comparisons, and rivals are quietly taking notes on how Washington managed to lock up its star for the next several seasons. For a franchise that has often been associated with turbulence and uncertainty, this moment feels like a dramatic turn towards stability, ambition, and an open declaration that McLaurin is the cornerstone of their future vision. Behind the whispers of the deal, people close to the negotiations describe months of intense conversations where both sides fought for their vision. The Commanders, eager to keep their offensive centerpiece, understood that losing McLaurin would send a catastrophic signal to fans and to the rest of the league. On the other hand, McLaurin knew his value was rising each season, and he wanted a contract that not only reflected his current performance but also projected the importance of his leadership over the next decade. The rumored contract appears to blend those interests, offering long-term security while rewarding him with record-setting figures. This isn't just about money, it's about recognition. McLaurin has carried the passing game through years of quarterback uncertainty, organizational change, and fan frustration. For the franchise, this renewal represents a promise that the chaos of the past will not define the identity of their future. The most striking element of this rumored agreement is the sheer number being thrown around. Insiders whisper that McLaurin will be making more per year than any player who has ever worn the burgundy and gold. That alone changes the entire narrative surrounding the Commanders. For decades, the team has been criticized for poor decisions, questionable contracts, and failed attempts to attract or retain star talent. Now, suddenly, Washington appears to be setting the market, showing that they are ready to compete at the financial level of the NFL's elite organizations. Whether this turns into a catalyst for building a stronger roster remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. If these numbers are true, McLaurin is now the face of the franchise in every way possible, athletically, financially, and symbolically. Fans might finally have a reason to believe in a brighter tomorrow. Reactions from supporters are pouring in with overwhelming enthusiasm. Social media timelines are flooded with fans posting pictures of McLaurin in his number 17 jersey, celebrating what feels like a personal victory for everyone who has followed the Commanders through years of disappointment. Many are calling him the franchise savior, while others are simply relieved that management finally made a decision that aligns with what the fanbase has been demanding. The nickname Scary Terry has been trending again, accompanied by memes, edits, and highlight reels that remind everyone why he earned this reputation in the first place. Still, there is also a cautious tone among some older fans, who remember a history of false dawns and worry about the risks of tying up so much money in one player. For now, though, the excitement outweighs the skepticism, and the city seems unified under McLaurin's banner. The locker room, according to reports, has also responded positively. Teammates view McLaurin as a quiet leader who leads by example, showing up early, practicing relentlessly, and consistently producing on game day. By rewarding him with this extension, the Commanders are not only securing talent, but also reinforcing a culture of accountability and recognition. Young receivers on the roster will now have a role model under the same roof for the next several years, someone whose career path illustrates how dedication translates into stability and respect. Veterans, on the other hand, see this as a signal that the organization is serious about competing and not just patching holes season by season. Within a league where locker room morale can shift quickly, such a message might be invaluable. McLaurin's presence now stretches beyond his statistics. He is the standard others are encouraged to follow. Of course, whispers like these also spark debates about the financial structure of the team moving forward. With so much money potentially locked into one superstar, critics are questioning whether Washington will have enough flexibility to surround McLaurin with the pieces necessary to truly contend. The offensive line still needs upgrades. The quarterback situation remains uncertain, and the defense has holes that could require expensive solutions. Yet others argue that having a guaranteed weapon of McLaurin's caliber is the foundation upon which all else can be built. You cannot worry about a supporting cast if you don't first have a centerpiece, and the Commanders have clearly decided that McLaurin is that centerpiece. In a league driven by big plays, explosive offenses, and star branding, his value may very well justify the financial risks associated with this unprecedented investment. Rival teams are reportedly watching with a mix of admiration and frustration. For divisional opponents like the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants, this rumored deal signals that Washington is not planning to fade quietly into the background. Instead, they are doubling down on the one player capable of changing games against them. Analysts predict that defensive coordinators across the NFC East will now dedicate more resources to planning against McLaurin, which ironically might open up opportunities for other receivers on the roster. It's a classic ripple effect. By locking in one star, Washington might indirectly unlock the potential of its entire offense. Rivals may scoff publicly, questioning the contract's size, but behind closed doors they will have to adjust strategies, a clear sign that this rumored extension already reshapes the competitive landscape. What makes this story even more fascinating is the timing. Washington has been undergoing significant transformations, from ownership changes to rebranding, trying to shed the weight of its chaotic past. Securing McLaurin until 2030 feels like the perfect headline to usher in a new era, one defined by stability and commitment instead of constant turnover. This deal symbolizes more than football. It represents trust, vision, and the idea that the Commanders can finally chart a path without looking backward. If the rumors hold true, the franchise has just delivered a public statement louder than any press conference. This is a new Washington, and McLaurin is the foundation stone. Symbolically, it's a masterstroke, as fans and even critics can no longer accuse the team of lacking ambition or identity. Everything now revolves around their star wideout. Yet, every rumor invites doubt, and some skeptics argue that nothing is official until ink meets paper. They caution fans against celebrating too soon, pointing to past moments when rumored deals either collapsed or turned out to be exaggerated. But even if some details shift, the mere existence of this discussion shows how high McLaurin's value has risen in the eyes of the league and his franchise. Few players have generated this level of excitement over contract news alone, and that speaks volumes about his stature. Should the Commanders fail to finalize this, the backlash would be enormous, perhaps setting the team back years in terms of credibility. Therefore, while some urge patience, the overall momentum suggests this extension is both real and imminent, ready to define the trajectory of the franchise for the rest of the decade. In the end, whether you are a diehard Commanders fan, a skeptical rival supporter, or just a casual follower of the NFL, the rumor of Terry McLaurin's mega extension captures attention because it blends hope, risk, and drama into one narrative. Sports are built on these moments, stories where contracts feel like championships in themselves, and where a player's signature can alter the fate of an entire city. If McLaurin truly becomes the highest-paid player in franchise history, he doesn't just earn a paycheck. He becomes the embodiment of belief for a fanbase desperate for relevance and pride. And that is why this rumor has transformed into a phenomenon, spreading far beyond Washington, echoing through every discussion about what it means to build around a star. Whether official tomorrow or next week, this is already one of the defining stories of the season. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.